Street. When you arrive at Don Wine Road, this scene is nothing like the confrontation you imagine. A human and a monster have their arms around each other's shoulders as they chat and laugh along with Luke. The three of them seem quite close. You glance at the task sheet and confirm that it clearly states violent assault. What are they doing?
어, 여긴 어쩐 일이야?
Luke turns around and sees you, quickly raising his hand in greeting. You walk up to him. I'll help you settle this evil. The human and monster duo stare at you curiously. The scene before you is anything but hostile, so you awkwardly shift your tune. The trouble you are having, but it looks like you've already resolved it quite nicely.
아이고, 이 요괴랑은 싸우다가 친해졌어요. 근데 강혁 씨를 봐서 이제는 화해했죠.
The monster nods in agreement with the man's words. The two even try to throw their arms around Luke's shoulders, but he brushes their hands away.
자, 이제 일도 해결됐으니까 이제 가봐요. 우리 둘이 할 얘기가 있어서요.
알았어요. 그럼 우린 가볼게요.
Luke only breathes a sigh of relief once they leave.
아까 너무 심하게 싸우길래 내가 간신히 말렸어. 지나가던 사람이 보고 신고했나 봐. 여기까지 와줘서 고마워.
It's no trouble at all. This is my task after all. But looks like your workload has been quite heavy lately. Is that due to arrangements from the bureau?
그건 아니고 정식 요원이 되려고 시험 준비 중이거든.
Huh? Luke was a trainee agent long before you. Over the years, he has helped countless monsters, but he has never taken the assessment.
좀 갑작스럽긴 하지? 근데 최근에 야외로 나가야 할 일이 생겨서 정식 요원이 되어야만 해.
Could you tell me the reason?
그래? 사실 비밀도 아니야. 어릴 때부터 요력을 가지고 있었지만 이 힘이 어디서 온 건지는 몰라. 이걸 알고 싶어서 시험은 신경도 못 썼어. 그리고 다른 사람을 도울 수만 있다면 실습 요원이든 정식 요원이든 별반 다르지 않다고 생각했거든. 근데 얼마 전에 폭주한 산요괴를 만났어.
Have even the mountain demons gone berserk too? Luke's expression grows serious as he realizes that this isn't an isolated case of a monster going out of control.
근데 산요괴한테서 낯익은 기운을 느꼈어.
Do you suspect that the mountain demon is connected to your demonic powers?
근데 야외로 도망가 버려서 내가 따라가질 못했지.
No wonder you're in such a hurry to pass the assessment. In that case, look, let's work together.
뭐라고?
I happen to be forming a team. If you join us, you can head straight to the field without any additional assessments. You share all the details with Luke. Luke's eyes flicker as he suddenly leans in close. You instinctively step back and he scratches his head, looking a bit embarrassed.
잘 됐다. 당연히 좋지.
Let's get ready and head out then. The next task is, someone found a sleeping Huowu in the wild. Should we go check it out now? A Huowu. What's the matter? How should I put this? It's like a monster with a huge pot strapped to its back. Yes, it's called the wolf-back tortoise because it resembles a black tortoise and has a wolf on its back. I've had similar thoughts about rogue Huowus in the wild before. When we got there, it turned out to be some young fools having a picnic, and they'd put their camping pots on their heads to avoid the hot. to avoid the hail. Now that you mention it, it does sound a lot like a whole looks like. Exactly. In the end, the dozen or so people we sent out in the field all ended up helping carry the pots back. Being able to help is a way of serving everyone, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. But I still hope we can see the real woo this time. Yeah, let's go then. Imperial City Street. Look, are you familiar with the route here? I'm not too familiar with this place either. It's my first time here. Not long after arriving in the new area, the two of you are already stumped over which way to go. Fortunately, there is a friendly looking monster foraging nearby whom you both quickly go up to ask for directions. Hey there, which route should we take to get through this area? Moo? The monster slowly turns its head, stops chewing, and looks at you both with a tired expression. It takes a moment to process your question and then lets out a few low moos. I see. Before giving us directions, you want us to evaluate whether you can work at a human settlement. Work? Why does he have to work? Not sure, but we've got the time to spare. Let's help him out. Let's help him out. Though not acknowledged, Workhorse feels a bit down but still keeps his promise, gesturing with his hoof toward a spot not far away. Thank you. Don't feel discouraged either. If you get a chance in the future, you can still make your wish come true. Yeah, if you were a bit more confident, everything would be different. Workhorse looks at you with what seems like gratitude and lets out a low moan before he turns and walks away. Imperial City Street. At least this trip wasn't a total waste. Yeah, at least we've learned more about the effects of engulfing breath. However, we still don't have many leads about the mountain demon. Don't worry, tracking down the mountain demon isn't something we can finish quickly. We, um... Look, what's wrong? Wait, I feel a bit... You see whiffs of an unknown substance coiling slowly around Luke. Those marks on you, are they engulfing breath? Must gotten it on me while we were exploring earlier. Luke tries waving it away with his hand, but it has no obvious effect. Weird, I can't get rid of it. Eliminating engulfing breath. The power of the bluebird can purify the miasma. Perhaps. You place your palm over the area where the engulfing breath is most concentrated, quietly channeling purifying energy. In moments, with your hand as the center, the engulfing breath all around Luke begins to recede, showing signs of retreat. It worked! Let me help you look.
조금씩 사라지고 있는 게 느껴져. 여기가 삼켜진 숨결이 가장 많이 모여 있는 것 같은데 처리하기 좀 까다롭지 않을까? 괜찮아. 그냥 좀 어지러워서. 응? 아까보다 훨씬 나아졌어.
The visible substance around him dissipates quickly. Luke rolls his shoulders slightly and gives you a gentle smile. I feel much better now. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're okay. We'll have to be more careful from now on. Alright, let's get out of here together. Imperial City Street. During your internship, you've worked with Luke a few times, so you have previously gotten to know his work habits a little. But unexpectedly, he shows you a new skill during this joint field investigation.
음, 여기 남은 발자국을 보니까 정보가 꽤 있네. 발자국 크기가 보통 사람보다 훨씬 큰 걸 보니 산유기가 폭주해서 인간 형태를 유지하지 못한 것 같아. 그리고 발자국이 꽤 선명한 걸 봐서는 아직 멀리 가지는 않았어.
He holds up a magnifying glass, crouching down to carefully inspect a trail of footprints left in the dust at the street corner. Instead of using demonic powers to search, you investigate the surroundings like a normal human detective, relying on tools. For someone like you who's used to depending on demonic powers, this is quite a novel experience. If we follow these footprints now, we should be able to catch up, right?
그건 아니야. 산욕에는 발이 사람이랑 달라서 발끝이 뒤쪽을 향하거든. 그러니까 우리는 반대 방향으로 쫓아가야 해.
After carefully inspecting the footprints left by the mountain demon, he puts away his magnifying glass and thoughtfully points in the opposite direction of the tracks. Wow! You can't help but admire the smooth, flawless execution of the process. I never knew you had this kind of skill. When did you learn it?
이 정도야 기본이지. 별거도 아닌데 뭘.
Luke lights up with the light at the praise and begins explaining everything to you with a slightly smug expression.
사실 이런 거 배우게 된 데는 이유가 있어. 난 아직도 내 요력이 어디서 온 건지 모르거든. 남들처럼 함부로 사용하다가 괜히 위험할 수도 있지.
That's true. As discussed earlier, the source of Luke's demonic power is unknown, so it's naturally difficult for him to fully control it. Minimizing the use of this demonic power does help reduce many potential risks. It's just that, setting aside how it might affect the assessment, what will you do if you run into danger and keep refusing to use your power?
걱정하지 마. 요력을 자주 쓰진 않지만 일에 지장 없게 하려고 이렇게 새로운 스킬도 많이 배워놨으니까. 방금 썼던 관찰 기술도 평소에 사건 처리할 때 자주 쓰는 것 중 하나야. 그리고 위험한 상황이 오면
He pats the large blade strap across his back as he speaks.
그리고 이것도 있잖아. 날 그런 눈으로 보지 마. 이젠 꽤 능숙하게 다룬다고.
Not bad at all. You smile and nudge Luke with your elbow. As you speak, your voice carries a trace of unconscious pride. I never expected you to have improved so much since the last time we saw each other. Plus, you're so well versed in demonic traits. If you had taken the assessment earlier, you might have been a senior agent by now.
그 정도는 아니야. 아직 고급 요원이 되려면 한참 멀었지. 그냥 내 힘이 어디서 온 건지 알고 싶을 뿐이야.
Luke seems a little embarrassed by your praise. He scratches his head, cheeks slightly red, and shifts his gaze toward the path ahead.
자, 이제 얼른 폭주한 산유기를 쫓아가자. 빨리 따라잡을 수 있었으면.
What's wrong? The light mood vanishes in an instant. Luke places a cautious hand on his blade, narrows his eyes, and signals you to look ahead with a nod of his chin.
저기 누가 쓰러진 거 아니야?
You follow his gaze and spot someone lying motionless at the street corner. You and Luke exchange a glance. Without a word, you both quiet your steps and carefully move closer to the person. For better or for worse, the person is only injured and not in any life-threatening danger. Besides, nothing dangerous occurs during the time you're taken to approach and treat them. But what follows only deepens the mystery. So, you're saying that you were attacked by a mountain demon?
마... 맞아요.
The injured person presses a hand to their freshly bandaged wound, shuddering with lingering fear.
산요괴였어요. 세상에, 그 녀석이 얼마나 무서운지 모르실 거예요. 핥히고 물고 잡아 끌고 아주 난리였어요. 당신들을 만나지 않았다면 정말 여기서 죽을 뻔했어요.
Don't worry, you're safe now.
상처는 제가 처리해 놓았으니까 집에 가서 잘 쉬면 금방 나을 거예요.
Luke gently pats the injured person's shoulder comfortingly, though worry creeps back into his expression. Are you worried about the mountain demon?
산요괴는 대부분 자기 방어를 하려고 싸우는 거야. 보통 한 번 공격하면 바로 도망가지. 그런데 이 사람의 부상 상태를 보면 한두 번 공격당한 게 아니라 계속 당한 것 같아.
맞아요, 바로 그거예요. 도대체 그 산요괴가 왜 그렇게 미쳐 날뛴 건지 모르겠어요. 전 정말 아무 짓도 안 했는데.
You lower your head in thought for a moment, but can't come up with anything. After all, you didn't witness the mountain demon in action, and there are very few clues. You can only make some guesses based on the victim's account. The demon's attack behavior feels very unusual. It seems to be losing control.
폭주? 보통은 다른 요괴의 힘을 빼앗은 요괴들만 그렇게 되잖아. 그럼 산요괴가...
Maybe it's not about stealing. Didn't you say that the mountain demon had a familiar aura? If it has some kind of mysterious power like you do, then that would explain the situation. However, we can't draw any conclusions until we actually see the mountain demon in person.
아니에요, 그쪽 말이 맞아요. 아까 그 녀석이 절 공격한 걸 생각해봐요.
산요괴가 어느 방향으로 사라졌는지 기억나세요?
Luke helplessly interrupts the injured person's rambling and asks the most crucial question. As suspected, the talkative victim immediately shifts focus.
그게...
He scratches his head in slight embarrassment, gestures toward the direction he had been facing when injured, before finally pointing straight ahead. You look toward where he is pointing. That's the jade quarry.
아마 저쪽인 것 같은데 그때 엄청 높이 뛰어서 저도 잘 모르겠어요.
It's alright. It's better than searching aimlessly without any leads. After getting that lead, you contact your colleagues at the Omni-Spirits Bureau to pick up the injured person. Okay, shall we head to the quarry first then?
그래야지. 다행히 채석장이 멀지 않으니까 금방 갈 수 있을...
The air suddenly grows still. Look, what's wrong?
그게...
Look! A sharp pain grips Luke's chest and a faint ripple of energy bursts outward from his body. He suddenly clutches at the shirt over his chest, frowning without a word. Luke, you... An eerie aura swirls around Luke like a dark, thick liquid threatening to envelop him. Engulfing breath? How is that possible? Didn't we just purify it? Never mind, I should have looked first. Without taking time to think, you concentrate and gather the power of the bluebird to purify Luke. You dispel the engulfing breath, but there still seems to be an unknown force inside Luke, constantly drawing something in. That force lures the scattered engulfing breath around him to gather again. This is bad. If this goes on, we'll only be treating the symptoms, not the cause. Hold on, it will be over soon. You steady your mind and accelerate the spread of the bluebird's power. Luke's breathing gradually eases. Only after the last trace of engulfing breath is purified does he finally release his tight grip on his clothes.
나 방금 또 삼켜진 숨결에 당한 거야?
It's okay. Everything's fine now.
고마워. 네가 곁에 있어서 다행이야.
Huh? Your heart skips a beat, and you're momentarily stunned by his words. But seeing Luke still coughing in pain, you push away the thought before it fully forms. You help Luke to his feet and turn to walk toward the Omni-Spirits burrow.
비취 채석장으로 안 가게?
You're affected by the engulfing breath. In your current state, you definitely won't be able to investigate any deeper areas. I remember there are some files at the Omni-Spirits Bureau. Let's look elsewhere until you recover.
알았어.
Luke doesn't object, but there's a trace of disappointment and reluctance in his voice. You sigh quietly, choosing not to mention it. After a pause, you and Luke begin to walk back together. Omni-Spirits Bureau.
요괴의 희귀한 힘 대전집, 인간과 요괴를 잇는 방법. 이게 다 무슨 자료야? 내가 한 번도 본 적 없는 건데?
These internal documents are only accessible to official agents. After stacking the last pile of documents on the table, you pat the cover of the top book. Due to the special circumstances, I specifically applied to my superiors to get temporary approval for us to borrow these materials for research. However, you hand several documents to Luke and flip through the remaining ones yourself. While searching in the database earlier, you skimmed the catalogs of these materials. Maybe because of their so-called rare nature, the related records live up to that label, so scarce they're almost non-existent. I feel like this information might not be very useful after all. Look, one of the 4 great evil beasts, Tao. The description is surprisingly simple, only saying something along the lines of sharp teeth capable of splitting mountains and crushing rocks. This information is far too incomplete.
뭐 진짜로 너무 희귀해서 본 사람이 거의 없었을 수도 있지. 봤다고 해도 제대로 관찰하긴 쉽지 않았을 거고. 보통은 이런 수준의 맹수를 보면 도망치는 게 상책이니까.
Yeah, huh? A sudden flash of inspiration strikes you. You straighten up from the pile of documents and meet Luke's puzzled gaze. The power within you, is it as strong as those fierce beasts?
뭐?
After all, I haven't seen many descriptions like this before, and even with your abilities, you still can't fully control it. That perfectly matches the description of a rare, ferocious beast-level monster.
그게 무슨 소리야?
Luke puts down the documents with a wry smile and walks over to the Omni-Spirits Bureau's data system, switching on the screen.
강력한 힘이 있다고 해도 제어하는 법을 모른다면 오히려 더 위험한 거 아니야? 일단 현실적으로 보자. 산욕의 상태부터 확인해 볼까? 애초에 그게 우리가 이번에 움직인 목적이잖아.
You're right. You walk up to Luke. Since he hasn't passed the assessment yet, only you can operate the system. But after running the search, the screen displays this data has been locked. Please proceed through the special authorization review channel. Other mountain demons force such high-level classified information? That doesn't seem right. You try entering the information and resubmitting the request, but this time the system shows application rejected, reviewer unknown. That's strange.
승인자의 이름까지 가려놓았네. 이 자료 보안 등급이 그렇게까지 높아?
I've never heard of that. The Omni-Spirits Bureau's review process is quite transparent, so we should be able to see it. Unless some higher-ups must have deliberately concealed information and carried out certain secret operations. But without any evidence, you're not ready to jump to conclusions. We're off to a bad start. I don't think we'll be able to see anything today.
너무 실망하지 마. 최고 기밀은 원래 어려운 거잖아. 안 되면 채석장 단서도 있으니까.
That's right. We still have time to investigate slowly, right? Slowly. Right now, the most important thing is for you to rest well and recover soon.
내가 쉬는 동안이라도 요괴들과 더 많이 만나서 특징 같은 걸 좀 알아둘 수 있으면 좋을 텐데. 그렇게 하면 앞으로 조사하는데 도움이 될 것 같아.
Interact with more monsters? A thought flashes through your mind. You smack your forehead. Alright, we can go to the job center. Look, come with me. What do you think it would feel like to only have 5 seconds of memory? That's a bit hard to imagine. Why does the sudden question? It's not like I just remembered it out of nowhere. Looks, our next task is to have a lost forgotten. These monsters really live up to their name. They've got terrible memory. I bet he's already forgotten about getting lost in the wilderness and asking the Omni-Spirits Bureau for help. In another 5 seconds, he might get hungry and run off looking for food. Huh? Does that mean we'll have to go looking for him everywhere soon? Yep, that's how I tracked him for almost 2 days and nights straight the last time he got lost in the wild. I hope he won't run that fast this time. Indeed, let's hurry and get going. We need to find him before he wanders off. Jade Quarry. There are so many different paths here. Which one should I take? I should ask the monsters around here. Luckily, a few monsters are dozing under a tree nearby, so you quietly walk up to them. Hello, could you tell me which route I can take to get through this area? A monster rolls its eyes, raises a paw to point out a route, and then flips over and goes back to sleep. They seem really tired. I'd better not disturb their sleep. Thank you. I won't take up any more of your time. Jade Quarry. Got caught up by an engulfing breath again. They really are impossible to guard against. In the quarry, the engulfing breath calls around look like silk once more, stubborn and persistent. Don't worry, I'll handle it. With the earlier experience fresh in your mind, you confidently clasp your hands together. The bluebird's light stirs in your palms again. I'll take care of purifying them again. Yeah, I trust you.
뭐라고? 알았어. 네 손 꼭 잡을게. 깨끗하게 처리했어. 네가 있어서 다행이야.
Thankfully, you notice the engulfing breath hasn't caused Luke much harm this time. You examine Luke carefully and only step back once you're sure he's fine. I feel much better now. It's just that I feel like I'm always troubling you. A gentle breeze brushes past as he awkwardly scratches his head. It's only natural for me to help you. We're teammates after all. We should solve any difficulties together. Luke's eyes fill with amusement as he nods firmly. Alright, let's keep going. Okay. Jade Quarry. After a period of adjustment, Luke's health has recovered. As planned, you arrive at the Jade Quarry to continue tracking the mountain demon. There it is. Look. Crouching behind a massive boulder, you guide Luke's gaze toward the mountain demon foraging not far away. The mountain demon looks completely normal, showing no sign of the usual frenzy that would make it attack without reason.
체내에 있던 요력이 정상으로 돌아온 걸까? 근데
Luke points at the basket next to the demon. It's full of medicinal herbs native to this area and forage food.
왜 저렇게 약초를 모으고 있는 걸까?
Such a large amount of herbs, it really looks like someone's trying to stockpile them.
저장하는 거라고? 그러고 보니 산욕에는 위험을 느끼면 본능적으로 식량부터 모으잖아.
But before you can figure anything out, the demon walks over to the basket and tosses it behind him. Just as he is about to leave, he suddenly pauses as if sensing something. A wave of unease hits you. You stiffen and instinctively try to pull Luke behind you. Look, something seems off.
조심해!
Before you can respond, Luke wraps an arm around your waist and pulls you back in one swift move. At the same time, a tall figure drops from above, looming over you. A deafening crash erupts as stars flies everywhere. The mountain demon lands exactly where you just stood. Its quick strike shatters the boulder that had been hiding you.
말령국 사람인가?
The demon glances up, its pupil narrows slightly, seemingly recognizing your identity from your gear. In an instant, his hands curl into talon-like claws, veins bulging. Without giving you a second to react, he slashes straight at you.
어서 물러나!
Luke lowers his body and growls, drawing the blade from his waist. It seems like he's already figured out the demon's attack pattern. He intercepts the blow mid-air. The demon looks surprised, lets out a frustrated snarl, and then swings his left hand toward Luke's eyes. Watch out, Luke! But the strike isn't strong. Luke dodges easily, and the demon leaps backward, vanishing behind the boulder. By the time you climb over the rock, he's already far away.
견제 공격이었나 보네. 우리랑 더 이상 얽히고 싶지 않은 모양이야.
Luke sheathes his sword and brushes the dust off his clothes. You hurriedly step closer to examine him carefully. What about you? Are you hurt?
걱정하지 마. 난 괜찮아. 이렇게 보면 산요괴와 말령국의 관계가 그리 단순하진 않은 것 같아.
You recall the look on the demon's face when he realized you were from the burrow, and a frown slowly forms on your face. Given the hostile attitude of the mountain demon toward the Omni-Spirits burrow, plus those confidential files we found back then, I feel like there must be some history between them. In the wide open quarry, the demon is already long gone. As for those highly classified files, You don't have clearance to assess them. Unfortunately, we've hit dead ends on both sides.
우리한테 새로운 단서가 하나 더 있을지도 몰라. 한번 확인해 볼래?
A new lead?
아까 산요괴가 모으던 약초 기억나지? 우리가 중간에 방해했으니 분명 다시 찾으러 올 거야.
Are you referring to the resource points? The Bureau has set up several resource points in the wild. Whether it's herbs or food, the fastest way for the mountain demon to get them is to raid those spots.
맞아. 산요괴의 성격을 보면 무모하게 덤볐을 수도 있어. 일단 제일 가까운 자원지점부터 가보자.
I'll lead the way then. Resource point. Following the map, you and Luke track the direction the demon fled in. The closest resource point is at the border between Quarry and the Beast Cave.
여기는 꽤 깔끔한 걸 보니 산요괴는 아직 안 온 것 같아. 녀석은 지도가 없으니까 길 찾는데 시간이 좀 걸리나 봐.
Let's take a break around here and wait for our target to show up. Luke nods and leaves the cabin with you. Together, you find a concealed spot not far away. Outside Resource Point. As the sky darkens and night falls, Luke starts a small campfire. While boredom sets in and the fire crackles, you suddenly recall something. You glance at Luke, who's resting against the wall with his eyes closed. Luke?
왜?
About what happened before, do you really not remember anything at all? Luke freezes for a moment, realizing what you mean by before. He gives a small nod.
힘을 얻기 전의 기억은 모두 흐릿해. 그 뒤로 말령국의 복지기관에 맡겨진 것부터 기억나는 것 같아. 어릴 땐 인간 친구도 있었고 요괴 친구도 있었어. 요괴의 힘을 가지고 있어서 자연스럽게 복지원에서 모두를 이어주는 존재가 되었고 말이야.
I thought so too. I bet kids from both sides were especially eager to be friends with you, right?
그렇다고 할 수 있지. 그래서 난 인간과 요괴가 평화롭게 공존할 수 있다고 항상 믿어왔어. 이게 내가 말령국에 들어온 이유야. 내 힘으로 사람과 요괴 사이의 평화를 지키고 싶었거든.
Luke is always like this. Whenever he talks about the past and recalls memories, the happy, bitter, and sad moments inevitably come to his mind. But when he speaks, Luke always manages to choose the most heartwarming words, letting everyone who listens feel the warmth deep in his heart. Just like now, even though he has lost his memories and the source of his power is still unknown, when he talks about the past, is filled with warmth and the childlike ideals of youth. This dream brings smiles to both your faces. Your ideals have already been realized. Everyone admires and respects you now, don't they? You stare at each other in silence for a moment. Just as Luke is about to speak, a faint rustling sound comes from nearby. You both instinctively make a shushing gesture, quickly put out the campfire and move to the side to hide. As expected, the mountain demon who fought you earlier reappears with a basket on his back, cautiously approaching the medicine shelf at the supply point. Luke carefully reaches for the blade at his waist and turns to mouth something to you.
내가 제압할게.
Wait. Before he can get up, you quickly reach out and press him back down.
왜 그래?
If you confront him head on, we might end up repeating the same mistake. I have a better idea. Why don't we just let him leave and secretly follow him to see what he's up to? At first, Luke looked surprised, but after thinking it over briefly, he nods in agreement. In no time, the mountain demon leaves the medicine shelf. It doesn't take much, just a small portion, and then swiftly leaps away. Once his figure completely disappears, you quickly pull Luke out and look in the direction he went.
비휴글로 갔어. 우리도 따라가자.
Okay. It's way too dark in this mine. Even with the illumination spell, I can barely see anything. Here, take my hand, watch your step. Okay, I hope we can find some candles or lanterns deep in the mine. Never mind, even if we do find some, I'm not sure I dare to light them. What? Why? You know, some shady monsters come to explore the mine earlier. They found something that looked like a wick at the bottom of the cave and lit it up. Wait, did you say there was something like a wick? Could it be? Yep, it's exactly what you're thinking of. Those were actually a bunch of mining explosives. As for what happened after that, God, I can't even bear to think about it. Let's be more careful and see in the shadows. It wouldn't hurt. Don't worry, I'll scout ahead and make sure the path is safe for you. Okay, I trust you. Beast Cave. While you're exploring the new area with Luke, a small accident slows you both down. You're saying you want to take up the role of a detective among humans? A snake-like demon stares at you and looks with huge bell-like eyes. Its fiery wheels spin beneath it, stirring up hot gusts of wind. You study its figure and appearance carefully, but you can't quite reach a conclusion. You do seem well suited to being a detective, but why don't we carefully evaluate the situation before giving him our suggestions? Yep, being a detective is a pretty important job after all. There are quite a few qualities that have to be evaluated. Since he came to us for help, we've gotta figure out some better advice to give him. Since we have some time, let's help him. Thrilled to receive the recognition he hoped for, the copperhead snake excitedly shakes hands with you and then with Luke. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. The copperhead snake nods seriously at your words and before leaving, points out the path ahead for you. After exchanging thanks, you part ways and head to your respective destinations. Beast Cave. The depths of the mine shaft are dim and claustrophobic as you and Luke venture deeper inside. Luke pauses, a flicker of pain crossing his face. In the dim light, you see something dark purple binding him like chains. Engulfing breath again. Are you okay? I'm fine. You be careful too. Luke's lips move slightly as if trying to reassure you, but the words catch in his throat. The engulfing breath has already eaten into his chest, leaving a sizable wound. Without further delay, you place your palm on top of it. Relax, leave everything to me. Even while being attacked by the engulfing breath, he still worries about your safety. You push down the worry and anxiety rising in your chest, focusing your attention on your hands. I'll definitely help you get better.
알았어. 가만히 있을게. 이제 우리 다시 함께 나란히 싸울 수 있겠다.
Luckily, you managed to purify it in time and the wounds caused by the engulfing breath finally begin to heal. Luke lets out a long sigh, his tense expression softening. I'm fine, let's go. We still need to track down traces of mountain demons. Don't rush, your wounds have just healed. You need to rest for a bit first. Since you don't know what dangers might lie ahead and consider his condition, you insist on not setting out right away. Luke nods and follows your advice. On the path to the truth, before stepping into the deeper darkness of the mind, you silently lean on each other. Beast Cave. The engulfing breath was so intense around the Beast Cave. I wasn't expecting all traces of it to disappear the moment we actually got here.
맞아. 이런 건 야외에서 보기 힘든데. 자, 조심해.
You take Luke's outstretched hand, letting him guide you into the depths of the mind called Beast Cave. A few minutes ago, you followed the mountain demon into the cave, but the darkness inside makes it impossible to see where he had gone. It's so dark in here. The path ahead slopes downward with uneven steps and scattered mineral deposits. It feels dangerous to keep going. Suddenly, Luke lets go of your hand and quietly holds his breath. Before you can ask anything, a faint light flares up in the darkness, first illuminating Luke's palm and then spreading outward.
이렇게 하면 잘 보일 거야.
Wait! You instinctively reach out and grab Luke's hand. Whether it's the flickering flame or the unease rising inside you, your gaze starts to tremble slightly as you look at him. Aren't you not supposed to use your powers so casually? Otherwise, wouldn't he get hurt or lose control? You can't go on speaking. You're worried you've underestimated the pain Luke might have endured and even more afraid that your suspicions are correct.
걱정하지 마. 가끔 한 번쯤은 괜찮아.
Luke's warm hand is the first thing that helps calm your nerves.
그리고 우리한텐 더 중요한 목적이 있잖아?
He turns a hand holding the flame toward the depths of the cave, lighting the path in front of your feet. Just as you thought earlier, there really are scattered rocks and steps ahead, but with this dim light, every danger becomes clearly visible. Perhaps you should trust him. Trust that he can remain in control of this power. Alright. Though the path ahead is clear, Luke still doesn't let go of your hand. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he is pretending to forget. But with that warm guidance, you gradually move toward the mysterious answer, your goal. At the bottom of the beast cave lies a relatively flat space. As soon as you touch down, Luke extinguishes the flame in his palm. Together, you slip into the shadows, quietly observing everything you can under the faint light. You narrow your eyes, carefully examining the objects laid out on the table in the cave. They appear to be various laboratory instruments. Could this be a laboratory?
왜 그런지는 모르겠는데 저 장비들 어디서 본 것 같은 느낌이 들어. 착각인가?
After whispering softly, Luke shakes his head as if trying to rid himself of that unsettling familiarity. He inspects the area carefully and then lifts his chin like he's noticed something.
저기 봐.
You glance in the direction he points and spot a cluster of monsters gathered there. Although these monsters are in various positions, some sitting, some lying down, they all wear faces full of pain. Some have curled up into balls, while others have completely lost consciousness.
다들 왜 저러지?
I don't know. Shh. From Luke's blind spot, a tall figure gradually emerges. It's the mountain demon you were tracking earlier. The mountain demon still carries the same basket and is distributing medicine to the monsters. And the monster who received the medicine should reduce symptoms after taking it.
말년국에 있었을 때 요기들의 이런 증상에 대해 들어본 적 있어?
After thinking for a moment, you shake your head. I haven't seen it before, but I have a feeling what we're witnessing might be exactly what is hidden in the document's classified content.
그 말은
Before Luke finishes, a scream of agony suddenly pierces in the air. The monsters who were lying on the ground scramble away in panic. The monster who was previously unconscious has awakened and is now violently attacking the others. The mountain demon throws away his basket, lets out a piercing shriek, and charges forward using his arms to block the rampaging monster's assault.
큰일이야. 다른 요괴들이 힘이 없어서 공격을 피하지 못하고 있어.
Even the mountain demon can't seem to restrain him. As you suspected, the mountain demon has no intent to harm his kin. His rationality becomes a disadvantage and he quickly loses ground. Seeing the powerless monsters getting hurt amidst the chaos, you grit your teeth and look at Luke. Luke, help me hold off the mountain demon's attack while I use the bluebird's power to purify that berserk monster.
안 돼. 너무 위험해.
We have to do this. You pause briefly, then meet Luke's eyes with determination. Would you abandon these beings and run? If you wouldn't, then neither will I. As if you've touched something inside him, Luke no longer voices any objections. He weighs helping others against keeping to himself, but the choice isn't easy. Yet the current situation leaves no room for hesitation. Luke.
알겠어.
He draws his long sword and points it toward the mountain demon and the monster.
내가 먼저 산요괴를 도와서 폭주한 요괴를 물리칠게. 아마 산요괴가 바로 나한테 공격해올 거야. 기회는 단 한 번뿐이야. 기억해. 상황이 이상하다 싶으면 바로 도망쳐. 어떤 일이 있어도 내가 널 엄호할 테니까.
Got it. Time is running out. There's no room for delay. After agreeing, Luke flicks his wrist, brandishes his blade, and lunges towards the mountain demon's back. At that moment, the rampaging monster strikes with a palm, and the mountain demon fails to block it. Luke darts between them and strikes the monster's palm with the back of his blade. The force sends the creature staggering backward.
또 너희냐?
The mountain demon instantly shifts his focus and attacks Luke with a renewed ferocity. Now! You seize the moment, charge into the fray, and envelop the berserk monster with the bluebird's power.
뭐 하는 거야? 그만해. 건드리지 마.
가만히 있어요. 도와주려는 거예요.
도와준다고? 웃기시네. 말년국이 언제부터 그렇게 착했다고?
The mountain demon forcefully shoves Luke aside and tries to lunge at you. But Luke stands his ground, and no matter how the creature struggles, he keeps the blunt edge of his blade steadily pressed against the mountain demon's chest.
진정하고 잘 봐요. 지금 치료하고 있잖아요.
거짓말하지 마. 내 동료는 이미...
When he looks back at you again, the ferocity in the mountain demon's voice gradually subsides. As he observes, the out-of-control monster that had been aggressively attacking just moments ago is now gradually calming down. Sweat trickles down your forehead. In your rush to purify the monster, you exhaust yourself. Finally, after about half a minute, the out of control monster completely calms down and slowly slumps to the ground. That should do it. Just as your step falters from exhaustion, a pair of hands gently catches you.
정말 잘했어.
You give him a weak smile and then struggle to prop yourself up. After confirming its companion's safety, the mountain demon doesn't attack again, only watches you with suspicion.
도대체 목적이 뭐야?
You and Luke exchange a glance. You don't expect this act to make the mountain demon completely drop his guard, but if there's a chance to communicate, this is it. Luke turns back to you and calmly speaks.
해치려는 건 아니에요. 그저 당신의 힘이 어디서 나오는지 알고 싶어서요.
내 힘?
네, 아까 그쪽한테서 정체를 알 수 없는 힘이 느껴졌거든요. 어쩌면
Luke reaches out. A faint glow flickers in his palm, but he soon shakes his head and with regret.
같은 종족일 거라 생각했는데 우리의 힘은 서로 다른 것 같아요. 지금으로선 제 의문이 풀리지 않을 것 같네요.
네가 무슨 답을 찾고 싶은 건진 모르겠지만 내 생각엔 너도 실험당한 불쌍한 놈일 확률이 커.
실험?
뭐야 너희들? 아직도 모르고 있었어?
The mountain demon stares deeply at Luke, showing an emotion other than hatred for the first time. He gestures toward the lab equipment around you, his gaze flicking between you and Luke.
말령국 녀석들은 줄곧 우리를 실험에 써먹었어. 다른 요괴들의 요력을 우리 몸에 주입했지. 나도 그리고 이 녀석들도 그 인간의 실험재료였다고.
Are you sure they're from the Omni-Spirits Bureau?
내가 너희를 모함한다고 생각해? 순진한 아가씨군. 네가 모른다고 해서 존재하지 않는 게 아니야. 난 이곳의 요괴들과 함께 그놈의 비밀 연구실에서 도망쳐 나왔어.
당신들을 실험했던 그 사람을 본 적 있어요?
봤어. 근데 가면을 쓰고 요력이 감지 안 되는 방호복까지 입고 다녀서 정체가 뭔진 끝내 알아내지 못했지. 근데 도망치기 전에 그 남자가 말령국 제복을 입은 요원들과 대화하고 지시를 내리는 걸 직접 봤어. 만약 말령국 사람이 아니면 요원을 어떻게 동원하겠어? 주위를 잘 봐봐. 이 광산도 예전에 쓰던 실험실 중 하나야.
He lightly emphasized one off. His tone unusually relaxed, but somehow it feels like he just dropped a massive weight on your chest. The Omni-Spirits Bureau keeps strict discipline and upholds the principle of peaceful coexistence between humans and spirits that never allow something like this to happen. But if what the mountain demon said is true, that suggests that someone within the Bureau is abusing their power, secretly committing crimes under the cover of duty. I'll continue investigating this matter. If there really is such a person within the Omni-Spirits Bureau, I'll find them and give everyone a proper explanation.
말로만 하는 약속은 누구나 할 수 있지만 그렇게 약속하는 걸 보니 책임감은 조금 있는 것 같군.
Faced with the mountain demon's sarcasm, you find yourself speechless. Not just because of that unidentified man, but also because of the spiritual power Luke possesses. Is Luke one of the victims of experimentation? But his powers weren't something that just appeared in recent years. When did that hidden figure start experimenting, and how did they keep it all under wraps?
실험을 벌인 사람이 누군지는 일단 뒤로 밀어두죠. 지금은 이 요괴들 몸속의 힘을 폭주하지 않도록 해결하는 게 가장 중요해요.
말은 쉽지. 도망쳐 나온 뒤로 아직도 우리한테 주입된 요력을 떼어낼 방법을 못 찾고 있어. 물론 이런 요력을 내 힘으로 바꾸는 것도 안 돼. 이제 우리가 할 수 있는 건 하루하루 목숨을 부지하며 살아가는 것뿐이야.
It's perfectly normal to feel helpless about events you've been completely unaware of all along. But it's also the most painful thing.
아니요, 방법을 찾아볼게요. 반드시 도움이 될 수 있는 길이 있을 거예요.
지금 무슨 소리를 하고 있는지 알기나 해?
Mountain Demon frowns, narrowing his eyes at Luke.
결국 우리도 같은 종족이잖아요. 안 그런가요? 아픔을 이해할 수 있으니까 도와드리고 싶어요. 그리고 지금 상황에서는 그쪽들을 돕는 일이 어쩌면 저 자신을 돕는 일이 될지도 몰라요.
Mountain Demon gives Luke a strange look and zones out for a moment. He doesn't keep mocking him. Instead, he turns to you with a questioning gaze.
좋은 방법 있어? 이 아가씨가 아까 썼던 힘이라면 아마 일시적으로 효과가 있을 것 같은데.
Yeah, but
무슨 좋은 생각이라도 있어?
you stay silent for a long time. Slowly, an idea begins to take shape in your mind. The demonic power inside their bodies is unstable, and that's what causes them to lose control. In the end, when a berserk monster's curse point shatters, both forces within will dissolve into engulfing breath.
그건 다들 알고 있는 사실이야. 그래서 어떻게...
Don't forget, my power can purify engulfing breath.
그러니까 일단 요괴들을 폭주하게 유도한 다음에 그 힘이 삼켜진 숨결로 변하기 시작할 때 정화하겠다는 거지?
Realization hits Luke. He slaps a face to his palm in sudden understanding.
그것도 좋은 방법이긴 한데
But in that case, all the monsters here will have to endure the pain of losing control. In the end, everyone will completely lose their demonic powers. I'm worried.
괜찮아.
In response to your concerns, the mountain demon rises to make his stance clear.
이 고통은 우리가 오랫동안 견뎌왔던 거니까. 한 번 더 겪는다고 해서 대수롭지 않아. 그리고 누가 자기 몸에 억지로 집어넣은 요력을 갖고 싶겠어? 난 하루빨리 사라졌으면 해. 이곳의 요괴들도 그렇게 생각하고 있어.
With the mountain demon voicing his stance, the other minor spirits voice their agreements one after another. Rather than power, they seem to long for a peaceful life. After consulting with all the monsters, you and the others settle on an agreement. In a few days, we'll head to the delusional forest where the engulfing breath is strongest. There, you'll be more easily tempted to lose control. Once the decision is made, everyone splits up to prepare. Only you remain where you are, still worried. Luke gently squeezes your hand and gives you a smile.
걱정하지 마. 다 괜찮을 거야.
I hope so. Luke, what do you think our chances of success are for the upcoming task? You mean the mission to settle that standoff between the two Flash Sparrow crews? I can't say for sure. After all, those Flash Sparrows are really fierce in a fight, throwing around fire and electricity. I was thinking the same thing, especially since we're near the woods. Once a wildfire starts, it's no laughing matter. Hey, why don't we come up with a battle plan together in a bit? I mean, other than ghost demons, there aren't any monsters I'm particularly scared of. But with such a big operation, we'd better be fully prepared. I agree. I hope we can resolve the dispute while minimizing environmental damage as much as possible. Shall we find a safe place to discuss this? Yep, sure. Delusional Forest. Deep in the delusional forest, engulfing breath fills the path. To avoid the engulfing breath as much as possible, you and Luke move closer to a monster nearby that's hurrying along. They seem to traverse here often, so they should know which places are relatively safe. Hello, could you tell me which road near delusional forest has less engulfing breath? Several monsters seems to be in a hurry too. They casually point in a few directions before rushing off. Following the directions they point to, you sense that the concentration of engulfing breath is indeed lower. This should be the places. In any case, I need to take a look there first. Delusional Forest. Deep in the delusional forest where engulfing breaths gather, you trudge on with difficulty. After fending off a sudden engulfing breath attack, Luke supports himself on a tree trunk with one hand, letting out several muffled calls. Luke, are you okay? You quickly go to check on him, but he waves his hand at you dismissively. I'm fine, you don't have to. Before he finishes speaking and before he can even pull back that strange smile of his, he collapses helplessly against the tree trunk. Look! You lift his upper body with effort and discover multiple wounds on his abdomen, already corroded by the engulfing breath. Not fresh ones, but older injuries. Did he really walk all the way here in silence despite his worsening wounds? You force down the sour feeling in your chest, placing your palm on his wound. His brows knit slightly in response. You reach out with your other hand and gently wipe the beads of sweat from his forehead. The pain will be gone soon.
걱정하지 마. 전혀 안 아파. 괜찮아. 네 힘은 나를 다치게 하지 않으니까. 알아? 너만 있으면 모든 게 좋아질 거야.
Only when the lingering, engulfing breath is clear and those ghastly wounds barely heal do you finally breathe a sigh of relief and ease your hold. Sorry for making you worry again. Luke's voice is quiet, laced with the fragility of freshly healed wounds. You don't need to apologize. It's my fault for not noticing your injuries sooner. No, it's not that. I thought it wasn't a big deal and didn't want to slow us down. In the end, I couldn't handle it. Good thing I have you. He gazes ahead, complex emotion swirls in his eyes. Now we're getting closer and closer to uncovering the secret. Whatever it is, we'll investigate and solve it together. Maybe because of the cool gloom in the forest, you two stand close together. By the time you notice, you're already holding his hand tightly. You're ready to walk with him toward every unsolved mystery and long-awaited answers. Delusional Forest. A few days later, all the monsters arrive at the delusional forest at the agreed time. The forest is thick with engulfing breath. Many monsters begin to show signs of losing control even before reaching the deeper area. Time is of the essence. We can't delay. Let's begin right away.
그래,
조심해.
You nod, trying to put Luke at ease. The mountain demon glances at Luke, who's standing aside and acting as a guard. Without saying anything, he steps cooperatively into the area you've marked. Under the influence of the engulfing breath, monsters quickly begin to go berserk. Cries, wails, and groans echo in waves. You spread your arms, draw on your strength, and try to extend the power of the bluebird to reach every monster. But some monsters completely lose their senses and suddenly lunge at you with alarming speed.
물러서!
Luke draws his sword and manages to fend off the monster using only the back of his blade. But more and more monsters lose control and grow increasingly frenzied. Facing this alone with just a sword, the situation is extremely unfavorable for Luke.
젠장, 그렇다면
Luke, what are you doing? He seems not to hear you. He flashes forward, sword in hand, and blocks the next demon's attack just before it strikes your face. With a loud clang, his sword is knocked far away by the force of wild demonic energy. Yet he doesn't go to retrieve it. Instead, he slowly lowers himself. Look! The look before you becomes completely engulfed in blazing demonic energy. With demonic power surging through him, fending off the rampaging demons becomes effortless. But at the same time, his movements grow more reckless and unrestrained. I can't let Luke use his demonic powers for too long. At this rate, he'll lose control. I need to move faster. However, there are far too many monsters around that need purification. Even when you push the power of the bluebird to its limits, you still can't cover every single one. As time keeps slipping away, Luke's expression grows increasingly strained as he holds back both the engulfing breath and the rampaging monsters. The engulfing breath binds his sanity like chains. His once clear eyes slowly cloud over with a tint. Luke, stay calm. Control your powers. Don't let the engulfing breath get to you. No matter how many times you call out, he never turns his head. Right now, Luke is facing the mountain demon standing at the center of the bluebird's power. Because of his strong self-restraint, the mountain demon stays conscious, but he no longer has the strength to fight back. He only stares at Luke in terror as Luke closes in. The monsters you've already purified lose all their demonic energy and retreat in fear one after another. Stand back, I'll handle this. This is something only you can do, and you must be the one to do it. Once the other monsters back away, you reduce the range of the bluebird's power and focus all your strength on Luke. While trying to purify him, you slowly move closer. Wake up, Luke. We still have important matters to attend to. Your voice still doesn't reach him, and even the bluebird's power fails to bring him fully back. Instead, the demonic energy swirling around him swells rapidly under some invisible restraints. It feels like the moment that the seal holding him breaks, all the power that's been held back will explode in a burst of massive destruction. No, I can't. If that power bursts out, Luke, you'll... But the engulfing breath wrapped around him has already taken hold beyond recovery. After the energy surge, signs of demonic transformation start to show on his body. Fangs with the power to split mountains and crush stones. Wait, could it be the Tao Wu? The data you once looked up at the Omni-Spirits Bureau comes rushing back into your mind. Would the power within Luke be from the Tao Wu? What exactly happened to him back then? A roar strong enough to shake the earth erupts alongside the force that finally breaks through its restraints. In an instant, the wind tears through the air, and all the surrounding ancient towering trees snap in half from the blast, crashing down with thunderous booms. Even you can't stay on your feet within the range of this force, and you're hurled several meters away by the demonic power. Look! Ah! Before the dust settles and before you can find any trace of Luke, the first thing that cuts through the haze and comes hurtling toward you is a Soviet tree trunk. There's no time to dodge. You stare in horror as the tree comes crashing down on you. Suddenly, a hand grabs your arm and yanks you out of the way just before the tree slams into the ground.
괜찮아? 다친 데는 없어?
Hearing Luke's familiar voice, you suddenly look up. Luke, you snap out of it.
음,
Luke's gaze lands on the abrasion on your palm, and his voice turns barely audible under the weight of his guilt.
미안해. 아까 내가 하마터면
You understand the guilt and fear in his heart all too well. Beneath your overlapping palms, your slightly trembling voice is also passed on alongside the power of the bluebird. Thank goodness, you're okay, and I'm okay too. You pause and then pulls him closer, so close you can almost feel each other's breath. Still look, and you've come back to us. I was back too.
돌아왔어.
Omni-Spirits burrow. Alright, look, that bandage is way over the top.
걱정되잖아. 결국 나 때문에 다친 거니까.
After the incident in the delusional forest, you both head back to the Omni-Spirits burrow to recover and keep Luke from being affected again. Before this, Luke did nothing but bandage your wounds and apologize non-stop. Come on, we're partners after all. What sort of things can happen during tasks? How could I blame you for something like this?
나 자신한테 화가 나. 솔직히 말해서 조금만 더 늦게 정신 차렸다면 네가 어떻게 됐을지 상상도 하기 싫어.
결국엔 별일 없었잖아. 안 그래?
As you're talking, a tall man walks in, raises an eyebrow at you.
접수만 하고 통보는 기다리기 귀찮아서 그냥 먼저 들어왔어.
Excuse me, are you... Seeing the guest approach, you rise to greet him. Luke stares at him in confusion for a while, then his mouth suddenly drops open in surprise.
산요괴?
그래, 왜? 생긴 게 바뀌어서 누군지 모르겠어?
The mountain demon, now in human form, looks and speaks so gently that it's no wonder Luke didn't recognize him at first.
폭주했던 요괴들은 모두 정상으로 돌아왔나요?
그래, 요력은 잃었지만 모두 원래 모습으로 완전히 돌아왔어. 근데 우리처럼 실험당한 요괴들은 하퍼시에선 위험에 처할 수도 있어 당분간은 그 광산에 숨어 지내려고 해. 오늘은 너희한테 인사하러 온 거야. 물론 고맙다는 말도 하고.
The mountain demon speaks sincerely as he extends a hand.
미안해. 전에는 내가 좀 무례했어. 두 사람 덕분이야.
Not at all. We're just doing what we should.
맞아요. 앞으로도 계속 조사할 거예요.
Yes, we will find those pulling the strings behind the scenes and truly restore peace to your lives. After exchanging a few pleasantries, the mountain demon bids you farewell. As you watch his figure disappear, you suddenly remember something and turn to look at Luke. Alright, Luke, have you noticed the form your power takes?
어떤 모습?
Well, as you recall the events, you tell Luke about everything that happened when he lost control exactly as you witness it, including, of course, the Taowood traits he revealed. Could your demonic powers be derived from the Taowu? Luke freezes and then looks away in thought, like he's trying to sift through long forgotten memories.
전에 그 실험실에서도 몇 가지 기억이 떠올랐어. 근데 내가 기억하는 실험실은 비후굴 지하랑은 좀 달랐어. 거긴 어둡지도 않았고 예쁜 꽃들도 많이 피어 있었던 것 같아. 누군가 계속 내 곁에서 날 챙겨주고 그리고
And
기억이 안 나.
Luke,
근데 지금은 감상에 잠겨 있을 때가 아니지. 언젠가는 꼭 답을 찾아낼 거야.
he stands up, eyes locked on the Omni-Spirits Bureau's data system.
지금부터 내가 할 일은 오직 하나야. 바로 너랑 같이 그 수수께끼들을 하나하나 풀어나가는 거.
You got it. You stand up beside him in camaraderie. You join the Omni-Spirits Bureau to protect all spirits and safeguard humanity. The power of the bluebird exists to purify. After witnessing the afflicted monsters and realizing that there may be more victims, that power won't sit idle in the face of lingering evil. And that will be our next task. You'll find your memories together and fulfill your wishes and ideals together. At least you're both indispensable on the path you both look forward to, right?